It's been no secret that animators in Japan have been abused, overworked, and spat back out by various companies over the decades. But as of late, the well-being of animators has become a hot topic around the internet, with nefarious NDAs to animators having a live mental breakdown for the entire world to see, to even full-blown production meltdown of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. Make no mistake, this is a topic that needs to continuously be talked about, which leads us into today's news about 17% of anime creators suffer from depression and more than 60% are fatigued, new health survey reveals. Now, the source of this actually stems from a Japanese article, which I'll pull up right here, which takes you to an official Japanese site that is basically highlights the issues of animators being overworked, how they feel, the fatigue, and all of that. And even though this is technically bad news because of the statistic, it is good news, in fact, because that means that more people are covering this, more people are talking about this, and it's not just, let's say, the West talking about animators and their conditions, the work conditions, etc. You legitimately have major news companies in Japan now officially talking about the subject, which shows that it's working. That the conversation, the dialogue around the situation of animators being absolutely overworked to the point to where they have mental breakdowns is finally making it into the mainstream media for Japan to actually discuss. And this means that all the conversation on it, everybody spreading the word about it, has actually had an effect. And this is good. This is legitimately good news. Even though technically it's sad news to see so many animators fatigued or stressed or suffering from depression and the statistics behind it and all that, I do think that it's good news to see this talked about, especially from an actual Japanese news source. This means that the Japanese viewers of anime will become more aware of this, and more people will continue to talk about it. So, those that say that why are you talking about this, or, why do you continuously bring up animators when it probably can't do anything? This is the reason. When you spread word and you keep talking about it, this stuff becomes public and more people find out about it, and it is clearly doing its job. It is working. It is working, and so we can say, as a community that has continuously spoke out about these problems, with animators legitimately having to sign NDAs that are very nefarious or sus, to just live mental breakdowns here, which I've showed before, it's very clear that animators are getting fed up. They're done. They are done with actually just being misused like they have been for many, many years now, for decades at the very least. And so, it is great to see articles now being made of the subject, but let's take a look at this article. So, this is the translated version of the article that was released earlier this morning, and, this is the overall title of it. And when you scroll down and you look at the statistics, like the sample data of the people used for this survey, they had 429 people who were surveyed, 73 people reported having suffered or experienced possible mental illness like depression. Additionally, when asked about their degree of fatigue, 291 out of the 429 people, 68% individuals reported having felt mentally fatigued, and 285, 66% individuals felt physically fatigued. Now, that's a pretty freaking high statistic, and let's give an example here. This is a sample data, and when you have sample data of hundreds of people, and basically you have that many people saying, yeah, they feel this way, that's not good. That's a crazy sample data. That's just like, that means that, yeah, it shows the current situation probably with how animators are and just how they're currently feeling in their actual environment. It's pretty spooky. I mean, you have actual major official companies in Japan, like the Japanese Animation Creators Association, a non-profit organization formed in 2007, dedicated to improving work conditions for workers in the anime industry. They're basically helping with this and all that. You have, a bunch of different individuals like the health industry and all that trying to look into this. It's nice. It's nice to see more people kind of doing research or studies on this to kind of make this more aware to the actual public, instead of just trying to sweep it under the rug and act like it's actually not happening. It very much is pretty much like Zom 100. Like, I probably already showed clips at the beginning of the video, but it's like Zom 100's entire plot, FYI, at least for the first episode, was about a guy that legitimately wanted to go to his dream job. He was excited to go into his dream job. He went into the office very happy, and then after a few days to months pass, he realized it wasn't what it was or supposed to be. He was being overworked and absolutely ripped apart at the seams to where he couldn't even function in his real life, to the point trash was building up around him. He was super depressed. All he did was come home and fall instantly asleep. He just did nothing, basically. He was just pretty much a slave to his job. It's really sad. And Zaw 100 kind of highlights some of those issues that happen within the work culture of Japan. And this is something that pops up very often within, like, anime and manga. You have it to where it appears continuously. It's kind of like writers or animators have, kind of screamed out about this issue for many, many decades, but it seems like finally, at long last, more and more people, the mainstream, is starting to realize what's going on and actually start to talk about the situation. So it is good news to see that. It's good news to see more articles being made on this. I mean, we even have Anime News Network talking about, yeah, they're not the best, news source technically. They make mistakes, and they definitely try to do hit pieces like what they did with Mushoku Tensei, but overall, it is still nice to see, once again, more conversation around this. Even Anime News Network has been talking about the work conditions and stuff, of what's going on within Studio MAPPA with sources, etc. So it's good. This is good. I'm glad to see more conversation around this. And so, those that have been asking me for over a year now, like, Chibi, why do you keep talking about this and all that? This is why. The word is out there, and seeing an official news source talk about this gives me just so much happiness, because that means that there's going to be more news companies within Japan to pick this up and talk about it, and more awareness will become common for people within the industry. So yeah, I mean, I hope that, this trend continues and we see more animators speaking out about their issues they have in their work environment, because it's not healthy what they're doing. When you have animators having to work on an anime a week before it releases, to days turning into work before days before it releases, that's not good. That's not healthy. That is legit not. It is absolute insanity how crazy that is. Like, that would not be good on anyone's mental state whatsoever, especially with having to work just crazy amount of hours. So yeah, that's the news. I wanted to talk about this because it seems like it's actually having an effect, that everybody talking about it is legitimately working. Continue. This gives me all the incentive to continue talking about these issues. This is obviously working. So yeah, I want to continue talking about this stuff as more stuff continues to come out. But I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you really, really liked it, do leave me a like. It does help me out a lot. I would greatly appreciate it. More people will find my content within the algorithm, and it would allow me to grow as a content creator. And I would greatly appreciate that. I would love to hit 500,000 subscribers one day, and it's one of my dream goals, so I do hope I hit it. But with that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be safe, stay healthy, Chibi out.